Hey everybody, it's Cindy here, and today I want to talk to you about t.u.g.s. t.u.g.s, which t.u.g.s, plural, stands for temporary upsurges of grief. Okay, so when you have a tug, you're having a temporary upsurge of grief. So what are these? This is, grief is a response to loss. So we often associate grief with death of someone we love, which of course is true. But grief also can happen in any time of a life transition. For example, many people are graduating and retiring and so forth, getting married. This is kind of that season. A lot of moving goes on in the summer months. Taking kids off to college, or they're joining the military, or I think June is the biggest wedding month of the year. So if you're transitioning in a job to another job, any transition times can trigger grief, right? And loss. And so a tug is specifically something that is happening now that might also relate to a previous grief or loss time that triggers a ton of emotion in you. Okay, and this came to my mind because it happened to me recently. I remembered, oh, this is a tug I'm having. Okay, so here's just briefly what's going on. So this was my first Mother's Day. I have a 22-year-old and a 20-year-old. And this was my first Mother's Day without either of them with me. Now, we're going to be together soon and celebrate a little bit later, so it's all fine. But it was a different Mother's Day for me. It was like, oh, there was kind of feeling of loss there because I wasn't with either one of them. My daughter's graduating from college this weekend, May 20th, which is my father's birthday. Now, my father's birthday is May 20th, but he died 5 years ago. Right in April, so kind of right at this in springtime 5 years ago. So on her graduation day, which is quite sentimental and binding for me, and his birthday are tied on the same day. The next weekend, my ex-husband is getting remarried. Now, we've been divorced 6.5 years. I'm in a very happy relationship myself. But he is getting married again for the first time since we split up. And so I've had some divorce stuff come up for me, like some guilt because my children are having an adjustment period with their father's remarriage and struggling a little bit with that, as anyone would. But I've felt my response to their pain has been some guilt, like, oh, if I wouldn't have left their dad, they wouldn't be going through this now because we would still be together probably. And so that's been, I've had divorce grief come up and loss and that kind of stuff come up for that, which, and then his and my wedding anniversary was June 2nd. And my birthday's in there too. And so there's just like all these dates and significant life events in the past and in the present that are all, and then my daughter's moving to Boston. So there's all these things all coming at once. And I had kind of a strong emotional reaction last weekend. I just had I had some tears I could not hold back. I was moody. I was much more reactive to things around me than I normally would be. And then I realized, oh, this is a tug. This is a temporary upsurge of grief. And so you're not just grieving what's going on right now, the current loss, but any losses subsequent to the loss or related to the loss or even loosely connected or parallel to the loss. Those old emotions can come flooding in too. So if you have, what I hope will be helpful to you is if you have some major life transitions coming, or a season of the year that you associate with another kind of loss, or if you're transitioning in some way in your life in this season of days, weeks, and months ahead, and you find yourself like more emotionally reactive to your life than you normally would be, or you find yourself suddenly, really angry or really tearful or just really melancholy, or you just don't understand what is my problem. Like you're going, what is my deal? Remember the tug thing, temporary upsurges of grief, because they can happen to anybody. It is actually a normal thing. I don't like the word normal, but it is a normal response to grief and subsequent griefs and losses and transitions. It's a natural response to what is probably going on with you. So just keep that in mind. And the big word I want you to remember is the first one, the T, temporary. It's usually very short-lived. It's usually, it could last for a few hours to a few days to a few weeks. But generally speaking, it's going to be very temporary. Mine was a couple of days that I just, the worst of the reaction was a couple of days. I've had some dreams and some things for a few weeks, but the worst, where it went to its peak, was about 2 days, and then I really released it and let it go, and I've been okay ever since, and I'm excited now approaching the upcoming festivities and everything. So I've turned a corner, and my temporary tug is over, I think, hopefully. Hopefully, please. But anyway, I hope that'll be helpful to you, and I wish you all good things. Those of you who have children graduating from high school or college or whatever, or whatever celebrations you might be having in your lives right now, I wish you my full congratulations and best wishes. And I will. So I'm going to be off for a bit too. I'm going to be gone for a bit on vacation, attending some different, the graduation and having my kids visit and things like that. So I will get back to you at some point soon. But for now, I wish you all the best. And I just love you guys. Have a great day. Bye.